Innovate, accelerate, move technology forward. The startup revolution is now.
Our world has changed, bringing many challenges we've never seen before, forcing us to pivot, evolve, transform, to conquer uncharted territories and create a new tomorrow. Join our journey to the future. We are Asia's leading career platform, helping people to live more fulfilling and productive working lives in organizations to succeed. And the more we succeed, the more people we can help fulfill their passion, provide for their families, contribute to society. For over 20 years, we've connected with 36 million candidates, partnered with 1 million employers, grown our staff strength to 1,200 employees. JobStreet and JobsDB are part of Seek, a global company with a portfolio of online employment marketplaces operating across Asia Pacific and Latin America. From its origins in Australia, Seek has evolved into a leading tech company, investing in technology to create innovative products, which connect candidates with jobs and employers with candidates in the most efficient way possible. Seek also has investments in several early-stage businesses through its ownership in Seek Growth Fund, which invests in online education, HR software as a service, and contingent labor. Seek operates several other businesses including Seek Learning, which helps connect people with quality education opportunities, Seek Business, where businesses and franchises can be sold, and Seek Volunteer, Australia's largest single source of volunteer opportunities. Through these, we can be more and serve more as a total career and talent partner, helping more people find meaningful work and helping you be the best at what you do. Step into the future with us, your trusted partner, as we navigate the changing employment market and unlock the journey ahead as we move forward together.
Hi everyone, I'm Christine from JobStreet Philippines by Seek. I am glad to welcome you to this session entitled Navigating the Aftermath, a New Kind of Workforce. As your number one partner in providing quality candidates to all employers, we are here today to share useful insights that will help you grow as you expand your business. I am honored and thrilled to introduce you our resource speaker for today, our country head for marketing at JobStreet Philippines by Seek. Let us all welcome Mr. Kim Martin Viray.
Hi, Christine. Thanks for that introduction. Hello and good day to all the SMEs and startups joining us in this webinar today. Again, my name is Kim Martin Viray from JobStreet Philippines by Seek, and I'm going to be your resource speaker today. I will be sharing about some insights on the new kind of workforce and workplace that we are all facing and experiencing right now, which I'm pretty sure will be very insightful and at the same time relatable for everyone in this webinar today. And I'm really hoping that you can gather and pick up some insights from my sharing to equip and prepare you as we all face the new normal together. So in the next 20 minutes or so, I will be taking you over about the following topics. First is the current job market on what this new normal looks like now, and then followed by the quiet quitting. After the great resignation and the great reshuffle comes this US workplace phenomenon. And lastly, some of our recommendations specifically on how SMEs and startups can cope with everything that has happened and is still happening in the workplace right now. So it's been more than 2 years since COVID-19, and it has surely changed the job landscape forever, not just here in the Philippines, but globally as well. So let's take a look at how the job market is faring and see what this new normal looks like now. So according to the Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, more than 1.08 million establishments have operated in 2021. This is an increase of 7.7% in comparison to PSA's last census back in 2018. And these establishments have generated a total employment of about 8.57 million jobs, most of which coming from the micro segment, which dominated the count of establishments with over 90%, while the small, medium, and large segments comprise the remaining 9.5%. NCR remained as the hub of business and industry, with close to 20% of total number of establishments in 2021 coming from NCR. This is more than one third, or 33.6% of the total employment, which was generated by these establishments. And then next to NCR are the two adjacent regions, Calabarzon and Central Luzon, with over 160,000 establishment, or 14.8%, and over 137,000, or 12.7% establishments, respectively. And due to the more lenient guidelines for businesses and foot traffic, coupled with vaccinations for the general public, the reopening of the market was felt through additional demand for jobs. Unemployed workers decreased to 2.7 million in August 2022 from 3.9 million in August 2021. And according to the National Economic Development Authority, or NEDA, we are now really reaping the gains of the safe and gradual full reopening of the economy. And in August 2022, total employment reached 47.9 million, which is about 3.6 million additional employment year on year. And this strong employment growth has been very evident in the services sector, specifically coming from the wholesale and retail trade, accommodation, and food sectors. And this strong uptick on employment growth can be primarily attributed to the continuous easing of mobility restrictions and resumption of face-to-face classes. Employment is in a phase of major challenges for SMEs, but with the right perspective, any major change can become an opportunity. And in JobStreet, we saw an increase in job ads based on our latest year-on-year data as of September 2022. As many businesses switch to digital and e-commerce, comes the demand for IT roles. And most IT roles are also open to hybrid and remote work, which makes it an attractive career to pursue. Meanwhile, healthcare continues to be an in-demand role both here and abroad. And even non-medical companies are looking to hire medical professionals for corporate roles, such as company nurses and company doctors, to comply with the business continuity plans related to COVID-19 or other pandemics in the future. And the most notable change is the preference for remote or hybrid work. And we believe that it is really here to stay. Right now, we have about 42,000 remote or hybrid job openings in JobStreet, which is almost 2 times of our listing from the same period last year. Even in the most recent news, Philippine call centers, or BPOs, are now allowed to fully implement remote working while keeping the tax perks, partly due to the strong clamor of workers to keep a hybrid or remote work setup. And this is very telling that employees are open to hybrid work options and coming into the workplace, but after spending more than a year and a half working from home, they really want some logic behind the decision. Demanding that workers be in the office a certain number of days a week without any reasoning isn't going to resonate, and you risk employees leaving for a more flexible workplace. And this signals the employer's response to this demand that indeed, hybrid work needs to be an option and executed thoughtfully. And then since remote or hybrid work is here to stay, the more that employers need to rethink the way they structure their working spaces. And according to JobStreet's Global Talent Survey, how people prefer to work before the pandemic versus now have completely shifted, as you can see on the graphs flashing on your screens right now. Obvious observation that digital and knowledge-based jobs are highly adaptable and less impacted by the pandemic because they rely on technology to replicate and replace traditional face time while retaining the same productivity levels while work is executed remotely. Other types of jobs, such as healthcare and manufacturing, require more workers to be on site even during the pandemic and for obvious reasons, of course. Hence, the way we, as employers, need to structure our working spaces depending on the segment that we are in, whether physically or virtually, must really change given the new normal. And according to the same survey, salary is not the only top consideration nowadays on what will make them say yes to a job. Tenure and job security, a good work life balance, even a great company culture, starting with a harmonious relationship with superiors, are all equally important, especially since the onset of COVID-19. Truly, the Filipino workers' priorities have changed already. In many ways, the COVID-19 helped shift the job landscape between the job seekers and employers. SMEs and startups are not exempted to this phenomenon too, as many workers reflect on their new priorities. Many trends have been observed sweeping the labor force. And this actually leads me to the next part of my presentation about quiet quitting. So we've heard about the Great Resignation and the Great Reshuffle. And while writing this out, employers are starting to notice the latest work movement that has been sweeping the young workforce, made be for SMEs, startups, and for large corporations. And quiet quitting has become a trending keyword as of late, with some in favor of it, some against it, and some bemused by it. So, what is it and why has it become a hot topic of discussion lately? So, what is quiet quitting? It refers to employees putting boundaries in their work and don't want to be exploited for working beyond what they are hired and compensated for. This can take many forms, including turning down projects based on interest, refusing to answer work messages outside of working hours, or simply feeling less invested in the role. Although the term quiet quitting is relatively new, the phenomenon itself is not a new one. Terms such as work to rule and acting your wage, where employees do no more than the minimum required by the rules of their contract and strictly clock out on time, have long existed before quiet quitting. And quiet quitting is said to be a Gen Z thing, but the philosophy behind quiet quitting, existing in movements like work to rule and acting your wage, has been around long before the Gen Z entered the workplace. And rather than being a product of the newer generation, it seems to be a new term given to a new phenomenon that has always been happening through the ages. The older generations did their share of quiet quitting, and so are the younger generations now as they join the workforce. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this trend already and ask, quiet quitting, is it good or bad? The good side is by doing your best job while putting boundaries is good for employees to keep work-related stress and exhaustion at bay. It also encourages them to work smart and to make use of their time and the company's resources efficiently. And it becomes bad if someone is not maximizing their time and does not contribute well to their team, or if they remain disengaged, or if it creates conflict between employees, as some will feel others are not carrying their weight. The bottom line is, while we advocate the overall welfare of our job seekers, we actually encourage them to pursue and get as many opportunities as they can that will help them gain more knowledge and skills. And rather than looking at the quiet quitting phenomenon as it is, we should look at the factors surrounding it. What is it that people want when they engage in quiet quitting? If it is work-life balance, that is not an unreasonable goal to strive towards. When people participate in quiet quitting, they want to seek better conditions for themselves according to what they prioritize, and when what the company provides for them does not align with this. That's the time that they resort to quiet quitting. So, what causes quiet quitting? Quiet quitting is usually less about an employee's willingness to work harder and more creatively, and more about a manager's ability to build a relationship with their employees where they are not counting the minutes until quitting time. When we discuss quiet quitting, we have to look at the conditions that cause it to sprout. The emphasis on clocking out on time and ensuring that employees have time outside of work to themselves is a response to a culture of overworking that has become entrenched and glorified in society nowadays. There is even a term for this. I'm sure you guys have heard this hustle culture. And people believe that the longer hours you put into work and the more time and energy you spend on work will drastically increase your chances of success. And poor employee management can trigger poor performance among their employees. This includes consistently overworking your employees, lack of recognition, instilling fear, lack of mentoring and proper feedback, lack of proper communication channels, and a toxic work culture. Most especially when the COVID-19 pandemic hit and we entered the Great Resignation, people started to take a step back and reevaluate their priorities and their boundaries regarding work. And in the priority list, employees decided that other factors like work-life balance, family, or how passionate you felt about your work had more importance over the work itself. And in the JobStreet Decoding Global Digital Talent Report, respondents have always ranked good work-life balance as their number one priority in the job from 2018 to 2020. In comparison, career development possibilities has fallen from third to ninth place. In other words, work-life balance will always be a priority, but getting far in a career has become less of a priority for people now. Employees' lack of motivation was a reaction to the actions of the manager. And this comes from feeling undervalued and unappreciated. Having said that, leadership should focus less on control and more on culture. For many years, leadership meant controlling where, when, and how your employees work. It was more about accountability when, in fact, management in 2022 should be more about leading and inspiring the team. Leaders who see their team members as humans rather than subordinates will see greater loyalty and productivity this year. So, whether it's preference for remote or hybrid work or a change in attitude in working, it's clear that the work dynamic between the worker and the employer continue to change. Many businesses expected an employee rush back in the workplace once the COVID-19 vaccine was rolled out. But instead, a significant number of workers decided that they actually like their new work from home situation and pushed to keep their more flexible scenario. The companies and organizations that adapt to this will be the ones to succeed, and they'll be able to recruit and retain better talent and cut attrition rates moving forward. So, how can SMEs and startups cope given all these? Running a small business can be challenging even in favorable conditions. But when the business environment is stacked against you, productivity and innovation suffer as a result. So now, how can SMEs and startups thrive in such an unpredictable environment? JobStreet Philippines by Seek is here to help with skill shortage and mismatch. We are committed to remain as the country's top employment partner as we navigate through changes. And more than just being a jobs board, JobStreet continues our pledge to the platform that helps empower Filipino employers in these increasingly unpredictable times. We will not only survive, but we will thrive and even compete with increasing players such as remote work employers. We at JobStreet provide great local service with thought leadership, knowledge, insights, and solutions to ensure your recruitment strategy succeeds. And just this October, we actually launched our new ad budget offering for our hires to enjoy and maximize. And with ad budget, we build a fair and flexible career marketplace that benefits both hirers and candidates to win, not only in the Philippines, but in Asia. Our hires may be from small, medium, and large sectors, and even from startups, can enjoy more freedom with increased levels of flexibility and control when posting their job ad on JobStreet. They can choose the most suitable ad type every time they hire. Hirers will be encouraged to choose the most suitable ad type based on the job role. Hirers commit to a budget upfront rather than a set number of ad credits, which gives them flexibility to use various ad types across 6 or 12 months. And with more effective use of the right ad type, hirers will be better able to attract the most suitable candidates that they need. Next is Hire Insights, where SMEs and startups can gain valuable hire insights from our job ad reports, so you will know best how to read the employment marketplace. And last but not the least, SMEs and startups can also get access and maximize our signature reports because we really recognize that empowerment comes from information. And as SMEs and startups, we rarely have access to big scale reports and research. And normally they are costly and time consuming. But with JobStreet signature reports, you will never be left behind when it comes to the latest job seeker and industry data that can affect your hiring strategy. And what's good about our signature reports is that this service is at no extra cost for you. And that actually ends my sharing and presentation today. Thank you again, SMEs and startups. Your continued resilience is an inspiration to us all. We believe that you are the backbone of our economy, and we are here to support you all the way. Mabuhay po kayo. Once again, this is Kim Martin Viray from JobStreet Philippines by Seek. Maraming salamat po.
Wow, thank you very much, Kim, for sharing those useful insights to all our participants. I hope you were able to take notes from our session. And we'd also like to thank the Philippine Startup Week organizers for inviting JobStreet to this event. And as a thank you, I am happy to announce that we are giving away free job ad credits to all startups and SMEs today. You may visit our virtual expo booth for instructions on how to claim your free job ad credits, and we will also be providing our registration link in the description box below. Don't forget to input PW dash your business name on the registered business name field to claim your free ads. Again, this is Christine, and on behalf of JobStreet Philippines by Seek, thank you and stay safe.
Achieve the look. Achieve the confidence. Nothing makes you glow more than a better job. Don't settle. Get personalized job matches. Seek better. Download and apply now on JobStreet.